What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Doing Time, the Lifers'Cast. I'm rolling solo tonight. I'm your host, Dick Rubin. My co-host, Evan, he had a little bit of a emergency, so life interrupts. But I just want to give a quick shout out to hip hop lifers for always giving us the platform to be who we are, to do what we do. Shout out to the new group that I started recently, the Culture Corner, trying to do something a little bit different, involve a little bit different genres, not just hip hop, expand the art, expand the culture. So without further ado, my special guest tonight is Promotheus, aka Chris Bergstrom. I'm sure most of you know him. He's produced a lot of Speak the Rebels work. He had his own solo out. Let's bring him to the show.
Yo, what up, Brad?
Yo, what up, brother? How you doing? Good to finally talk to you face to face, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But
Nice to chop it up with you.
hell yeah. Thank you for coming on. But what we like to do first off is tell people about yourself, people that might not know you.
Okay. Promotheus, from Canada. Actually, I've lived all over the U.S. and Canada, but I am Canadian.
We don't hold that against you.
Been doing this shit since I was knee-high to a fucking duck, man. Like, I literally wrote my first rhyme when I was 7 years old or something like that.
Wow.
Been producing on bullshit since I was around the same age. Released like my first album with a crew, Nominal Butchery, around 98 in Toronto. Shout out to Exacto, JX. Exacto still kicking, JX kind of dormant. Anyways, we did some shit. We did some shows. We opened up for Maestro. Fucking. Some people probably don't even know who that is, but Maestro Fresh West was like the first recognized hip hop, like legit hip hop artist from Canada back in the 80s. Anyways. So yeah, did the whole Nominal thing. And then fast forward to like 2019, released my first solo album, Night of the Danger Cat. Just had a bunch of people on it. So notable people was like Words, Ragnar Valen, Lord Goat, Gore-Tex from Nonfiction. So, anyways, a lot of people can find that shit on Spotify if they haven't heard it. Become familiar.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's all self-produced, self-mastered, self-mixed. So, yeah, there's a lot of features on there, which a lot of people are like, a solo album shouldn't have a lot of features, but I produced the whole fucking thing too, so it's like, there's still a lot of solo effort on that work.
You seem to be like the jack of all trades too. You kind of have your hands in everything, and you're an outdoorsman. If people don't know, if they don't follow you on Facebook, out there shooting in the woods.
Yeah, I'm a man of many hats, dude. I don't put myself in any box, and a lot of it's just like I don't want to rely on somebody else, wait on other people to do shit. So I'm just like, I'll make my own beats and write my own shit, record my own shit, master my own shit. It's just easier.
Yeah, you do your own artwork and everything, don't you?
What's that?
You do all your own graphics and
yeah, I'm an illustrator too. I draw like all my own artwork, all my own album artwork. I do videography, cinematography, like professionally. So yeah, I'm all over the board creatively, man, from the music and just media in general, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, if you've seen any of our show flyers from this past year, the podcast graphics, that was all this man right here, and we highly, highly appreciate that because you come up with some dope work. You come up with some dope work.
Always fun working with those those shows and those ideas for sure. So
Yeah, it's because really, I don't even have to give you any ideas. I just give you the name. Like,
yeah,
here you
absolutely.
go. Here's the name. Do what you want, and it
Yeah,
comes out great every single time. So that's dope.
I appreciate that, man.
But
Appreciate that.
what was it? Yesterday, Dickspin dropped. You produced that for Speak the Rebel featuring Paranoia. You've been
Yes, sir.
you've been working with Speak a lot, and Speak's a friend of the podcast. And what's it like working with him?
Oh, it's inspiring. You know, quite honestly, the dude is just like a workhorse and like always elevating himself creatively. You know, he doesn't. He's kind of like similar to me in that way, and that's kind of how we mesh. We don't really put ourselves in a box. It's kind of do whatever, let things grow, and let ideas grow. But yeah, he's a really nice dude. Fantastic to work with, honestly.
What was it like producing most of Doom Poetry?
Uh,
How was that process? Did you just send him the beats and he just ran with it, or did you guys work together on them?
he usually comes up with he'll like hear one of my beats, he'll write a track to it, and then he'll kind of come up with an album, like a concept based on whatever vibe he's feeling, I guess. And then I kind of feed off that, and then I just kind of like try to paint beats that are the similar tone, just keep like a continuity through the album. So I don't know. It's always fun, man. Like I just do what I do, and he does what he does, and it just you know just clicks. So yeah, it's
Yeah, you
dope.
see, you're one of those producers that when you hear your beat, you know it's you. At least I
Uh,
do, because of
yeah,
you're on the darker side for sure.
I have heard that. I've been producing a long fucking time, just as long as I've been rapping, and a lot of people probably have heard my beats and not realized it on some other shit. So uh, pay attention.
Name drop it right now and tell us where you find it.
Oh well, the I mean, obviously you're gonna hear an entire album coming out with Speak.
Yes, sir.
I've
Cause
got a
Patriot Junk Box.
Cause Patriot Junkbox.
Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's releasing next year, and I'm gonna use that as an opportunity to promote the shit out of that because I feel like it's some of my dopest work for sure. And Speak is I don't know if you've paid attention, man, but he gets a lot of fucking streams on Spotify.
Oh yeah, I do.
He's got a lot of listeners, a lot of ears, so it's I hope that everybody really likes what we're coming out with. It's gonna be fucking next level.
I've had the pleasure to hear a little bit of it, and it's definitely dope. And you guys mesh well musically,
Yeah,
because you're both really both musicians, and you guys both of you take it to that next level. So that's pretty dope.
appreciate that, man.
It's pretty dope. But I want to move on to a little segment that we do here. It's called Tales from the Internet. It's your weirdest, wildest, most fucked up story that you ever had to deal with somebody online.
Oh, I mean, dude, there's so many things that just like blend together into one. Like you can't pick out one thing. I don't know. Like
Nothing stands out in your mind?
nothing. I mean, back in the day, I remember like making bets over hockey games with hackers from the states in like 19 in the like mid 90s and shit. And these dudes were like losing bets and not paying up, and then like calling my house, finding my phone number somehow, and like fucking harassing my family and shit. Yeah, I mean,
That's wild for the mid
shit like
90s,
that,
late
or
90s.
like Necro calling my house in like '97, like threatening my mom, put like 80 hours of work on her face and shit,
No
because
shit.
because I owed him money for CDs I was selling for him. Shit like that. I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
That is
Tale from the
crazy.
internet.
That is crazy. That, that's pretty wild that he would just call up your mom's.
Oh, I mean, he was looking for me, but you know,
Right. Still.
I lived with
You
my parents back then. And, like, he's ruthless. Ron is he's a fucking scumbag. Scumbags.
know? But what are you working on right now? If
Man,
you
I
can
have
lay
a
it out.
project that I've been trying to release for months, but I'm always just waiting on like people that are supposed to be on it, and I work a day job too, so
Yeah,
it's like I work like I honestly 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, so
yeah, that's
it's
wild.
uh it's hard to find time to squeeze shit in, but I manage. I burn the candle at both ends, you know.
Yeah. It seems to be everybody that comes on the podcast because it's like
Right.
it's not a 9 to 5 job trying to make music,
Yeah,
not
no.
you gotta get that hit out there, or you gotta just conform to all the bullshit. And I'm glad that no one does that. No one in this circle does, at least.
Well, we're all failures, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Every,
just
every time you
it's
fail, you learn something.
I don't know. It's just for me personally, it's like I'm on a professional level, but I don't really operate as a professional because I have a day job and a family shit, and it's this has always just been like this. I'm not trying to downplay what I'm doing, but it's like it's always been this side thing for me, you know.
Right.
To it's like a release from whatever I'm doing on my daily shit. I can, I don't know, you know,
You jump in and start.
depressurize or whatever you want to call it.
Um,
And,
what was your favorite experience producing for somebody? Like, what stands out in your mind as the best experience you've had?
Superlux 322 with Grim Moses. I don't know if people have heard that album. I produced that whole album, mixed it, mastered it. It's a concept album uh, about like you know the higher elites, fucking all their malfeasance and all the sex trafficking and adrenochrome or what? Fuck the fuck. I'm shitting on the name right now, but yeah, that fucking album is ridiculous, man. Like, and working with Grim was such a treat. The dude is such a pro. Like, fucking, I would send him a beat and he would have a full track back to me like the next day or the day after, and just like I think we did that whole album in like a month and a half or something.
Uh,
It was yeah, it was fucking smooth, really smooth. I mean, it was smooth at one point. We were supposed to have a pretty notable MC, like a big time name MC on the album, and like they started beefing, Grim and this dude, and like it fucking totally went sideways, and he didn't end up being on the album. We ended up getting Falcon Outlaw, which is I don't know if you know who Falcon Outlaw is. He's another MC from Toronto. He's down with like Ace and Eastwood and like Daniel Son and all those dudes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have
But
to check them out.
there's a track on that album. I produced it and I rap on it with Grim and Falcon Outlaw. So, but yeah, that whole album is fucking it's tits, bro. And you guys should check that out if you guys haven't checked that out. Superlux 322, Grim Moses and Promotheus. It's on Spotify.
Spotify. You got a Bandcamp too to drop?
Yeah, that album's on Grim's Bandcamp. Grim Moses, I think grimmoses.bandcamp.com.
Word, word.
So,
Now we're gonna flip that coin. And what's the worst experience you had producing for somebody?
oh, another fit that same artist from that fucking incident on the Grim Moses album.
No shit.
Like the dude has fucking strung me along for years. Like say I'm gonna rap on this beat. This beat is dope. Like I can't like just change the pitch on this snare and I'll rap on this beat. Like kind of makes me look stupid at the same time, but it's like fuck, it's such a nightmare and like thing to deal with when you got like a rapper that you want to work with and he's telling you he's gonna do a track on your shit and he never does.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I'm
must be so
not gonna
frustrating.
call him out, but yes,
Yeah,
you'd know who he was.
you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But yeah, it's got to be frustrating, man. It's got to be because like you said, you only have so much time in the day to
Yeah,
squeeze what you want to do in, and so
yeah,
anybody messing with that, that's like time is money, you know.
yeah,
So
absolutely. And I mean, it's a situation where it's like, of course I want to work with this dude. Like, I've been
right,
listening to his shit for years. It's like,
right. So yeah,
anyways.
you got to just hold on and try to wait and see what he's gonna do. But still, it's got
Yeah.
to be frustrating. Got to be frustrating. We're gonna move on to another. Uh, lost my train of thought there. We're gonna move on to another segment that we have here. It's called "What's Your Issue?" Could be a tiny little issue like you hate people cutting you off on the highway, or it could be some major issue in the world. What's your issue right now?
Justin Trudeau, C-21. I don't know if you Americans follow this shit, but this dude is literally like, he wrote this, like, he's been banning guns and shit in Canada, like, incrementally over the years and shit, right? And he recently banned handguns entirely. Just not going to get into that, but that pisses me off. That's an issue.
Yeah,
But then he fucking put an amendment on that handgun shit overnight when nobody else could review it, and submitted it the next day to ban like all semi-automatic rifles in Canada, and even a bunch of like single shot rifles, hunting rifles and shit. That's my issue, man. Fuck that dude.
well, that's kind of wild because like the culture in Canada is hunting.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, it's so fucked up. Like, this dude has got to go. Like, I don't know if you know Justin Trudeau, people. This guy is a fucking scumbag. He's
We
the
do have
worst fucking prime minister in the history of the country, hands down. That's not an opinion. That's fucking fact. Guy is a fucking train wreck.
we have a comment here said I read that someone asked for a wheelchair ramp and the Canadian government offered euthanasia to him instead. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. Some. I don't. I wouldn't really consider that a government thing. As just some idiot employee at Veterans Affairs. Some vet called in and was like, "Yeah, I need a wheelchair ramp," and the guy suggested that he kill himself or something instead.
That's not cool. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
fucked up.
most Americans really don't pay attention to what's going on north or south of the border from
Oh,
us.
I get it, bro. I spent a lot of time in the States. I lived in Oklahoma City
Yeah,
for 6 years, so I understand both sides of the table on that one for sure. Americans don't give a fuck about Canada, and they don't really know much about it.
yeah, no,
But
not at all. It's like
yeah,
some of it's like a foreign land. We just think it's all trees and maple syrup and shit like that.
yeah. I mean, in reality, dude, it's the same shit as the States.
Yeah,
Some little bit of different laws and shit, but like culturally, it's basically the same country. We're just a little bit more laid back.
yeah, definitely a lot nicer too. I've noticed because we deal with a lot of Canadians. We have a lot of Canadian group members, and they know who they are. Will Russ and Ryan, they're always like super nice, which is kind of like almost like straight, especially from the Northeast. Like I'm from Rhode Island. Speaking them, they're all from Massachusetts, and we kind of, I don't know, we kind of walk around aggressive. I think more aggressive than most. So
Yeah,
Canadians seem to be like really nice people in my eyes, anyway. It's like, wow, that's pretty.
yeah. I would agree with that for the most part. It depends on which part of the country you're from. I'd say too. Like if like Toronto is really hardcore for like in terms of Canadians. Like
Right.
that's probably the most relatable area you'd find to like Boston or New York or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I've been to Toronto once.
oh really?
Yeah, back in the '90s. But
Oh
I'm
nice
sure it was a
nice.
little. I'm sure it's totally different now. But
What were you doing? What were you doing there?
we just crossed the border. I was my father was a truck driver, so he was dropping off cars. We just crossed the border into drop off some cars in Toronto, looked around, and took off.
Oh
But
nice.
we got another question about Canada. This is pretty good that we have a Canadian to answer these questions. It says, are psychedelics legal there or are they decriminalized?
Uh I have heard something about that. I'm not a great person to answer that question. I can tell you that pot is completely legal. Weed. You can go buy it at the fucking store, and people say, "Oh, don't buy it at the store, man. The prices." It's the same fucking price,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, it all
Same
works
shit.
out to the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
I can pick on the shelf, what strain, what like THC, terpenes, all I can pick all that shit out.
right.
Can't do that at my buddy's house.
Pick exactly what you want. But it's most of the states are becoming decriminalized. Like my state's finally gonna start opening up recreational dispensaries because usually we gotta go to like Massachusetts because they've
Right,
been recreational for a couple of years now, I think. So
right.
that's pretty cool. They should just legalize it straight across the board anyway, but they probably
Yeah,
won't. Federal wise, they're never gonna do that. But I don't think we'd want the federal government to take it over because the taxes on it would be outrageous.
you
And
think
just
so?
oh yeah, the taxes right now are outrageous anyway, but we get taxed pretty hard.
Yeah, it's 5% or something.
Yeah,
Here,
Rhode
tax
Island's
straight across the
seven
board.
percent. Mass, I think, is 5%. But
Oh, nice.
what else? Wonder if we have any more questions from our viewers. Like J Speak Lane says, "I'm here. What's up, bro?
What's up, Speak?
Scumbag.
Scumbag.
Fucking scumbags." You got anything else coming up that you want to plug to the world?
Goon Mountain's my current like baby right now. It's like my artwork shit.
Yep.
My illustrations. It's kind of like it's like inspired by like bank robbery counterculture. Like it's kind of celebrating like bank robbers and shit. I know that might be disparaging, kind of against myself type of look, but I don't know. I like bank robbers and shit. I like bank robber movies and love reading about them and shit. They're like heroes to me. But so I don't know. I got this whole clothing line, kind of product line that I'm doing with some shirts and some patches, and I'm probably gonna do like a whoopee or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's all like guns and balaclavas and shit, man.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I saw that gives me Heat vibes. The movie Heat.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's my
definitely.
favorite movie. It's my
Yeah,
favorite movie ever.
that's pretty dope because that's the vibe it gives me when I see the like you see the logos and shit. Definitely, that's gonna be dope. When's that gonna be dropping?
I got a shirt out right now, but I'm gonna be dropping in January this North Hollywood. I don't know if you're familiar with the North Hollywood shootout in 1997,
Yeah.
but it's like an illustration of that with like Emil and Larry, the two dudes, Emil Matter Serrano and Larry Phillips Jr., two dudes who robbed the North Hollywood Bank of America,
Weren't they
97.
wearing like body armor or something like that? Like
Yeah, full body armor,
makeshift Iron Man suits?
fucking drum mags on like Type 59 Chinese AKs and shit. Yeah, just those dudes were hardcore as fuck. They were all jacked up on like barbiturates, just robbing banks and fucking hitting armored cars and shit. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing that when I was younger on the news. That shit was crazy because
yeah,
they were holding the street down for what it was a couple of hours, wasn't it?
yeah. It was.
Yeah,
It was actually 45 minutes, but
I'm sure it felt
it's
for those
quite a long
cops.
time.
It felt like days.
Yeah, it was a long time to be taking automatic gunfire for
Yeah, it's
sure.
crazy. We got another question. Do you think Canada or regions of Canada have a distinct sound to them, like regions of hip hop in the United States? Like, do you think Toronto sounds different than Vancouver?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Toronto is got like Toronto has an accent. I don't know. People from the states probably don't know that, but Torontonians sound a certain way.
Right.
They have a very strong accent, just like New York or Boston. You can hear it. And Vancouver is like, when you listen to like West Coast rappers, it's a West Coast rapper because it's really like slick and like drawn out. And it's kind of the same thing in Canadian hip hop, like West Coast MCs. They kind of have this style. It's like kind of an exaggerated style, like Snack the Ripper, for example.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it kind of just breaks down just like the United States then.
Oh,
East Coast
absolutely,
has that,
absolutely.
like the East Coast has that boom bap vibe, and then you get that laid back West Coast vibe. It's pretty dope. Is there a lot of artists from like the middle of Canada? Because that's like, what's the biggest
Well,
town? Winnipeg, that
I'm.
area?
I mean, if you want to be geographically technical, I guess there's not really any artists from the middle of Canada. Toronto's kind of the middle of Canada, but there's some artists from like the east, like Pat Stay. You probably know Pat Stay
Yeah,
just got fucking killed
yeah,
recently.
yeah, good.
He's
So
from Halifax, classified. There's a bunch of people from out that way, but I'd say most of the quality artists are from the bigger cities west and in Ontario, like Toronto, Ottawa, shit like that.
we a top five Canadian artists.
Number one, start with number one, Shiloh. I don't know if anyone knows Shiloh, the Beat Yoda, uh, or just Shiloh. He's from Bomb Shelter Association. He was like Marco Polo's. Everyone knows who Marco Polo is, obviously.
Right, yeah.
He was Marco Polo's mentor. Like taught him how to make beats. He's worked with like DJ Premier on First Division. Fucking, he just released that album Dookie Bros. When the shit hits the fan.
Right.
That's shit's ridiculous. The guy is just so talented. Uh, that's a hard list, man. Like I don't know if I have a lot of like I don't really focus on nationality
Right.
like so
Right.
much as my top MCs. If I delimit, I don't know, Ninth Wonder, he's up there.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
good.
Ninth Uno, um, Danielson's pretty dope right now. If I have to be honest, uh, Words is pretty dope. Exacto's pretty dope,
Hmm.
but he's like hasn't rapped in so fucking long, so I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
going back.
I don't really know on the top of my head like Canadian MCs. I'm
We,
kind of a snob.
we asked the hard questions around here, man.
Yeah, that is a hard question.
But Danielson is getting a lot of love lately, and that's dope because he's a pretty
Yeah,
dope MC.
he's not like a super technical MC, but he's got really good mic presence, delivery, flow, style. I mean, you know,
But we got another
checks a lot of
question.
boxes.
We got another question from Matthew Coop. He says, "What's the best city in Canada to play?"
Like for shows,
Yeah, for shows. Best
oh,
city for live shows.
Toronto for sure, no question. Toronto's like the hip hop epicenter of Canada, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
New York, right?
yeah, absolutely. Vancouver too, but like honestly, there's a lot of smaller cities across Canada. Like, you can always find a dope show in like Nelson, BC. It's like a town of like fucking 15, 20,000 people or something. But it's just like it's one of those like culture towns.
Right,
Like
right.
Apathy and Ill Bill and Paz and those dudes like always stop in there when they're on tours and shit because it's always dope crowds and young people and shit. So yeah,
Yeah, dudes like that, like AOTP and all that. I've been to plenty of their shows, and some of them haven't been sold out. They're like 75%. Some of them been 50%. Some have been sold out. But when they go overseas, these dudes are playing like stadiums. It's
yeah,
wild. And when they go north and when they go south, they're playing stadiums. It's almost like
absolutely.
because Americans we're so spoiled with shows because they're everywhere all the time. I mean, when COVID was shut down, they wasn't doing shit. But before that, there was a show you could catch every single like 3 nights a week, local to you, and so
Yeah,
you kind of get spoiled with that sort of thing. And from people from around the world that we've talked to, in hip hop lifers like Bruce Maximus and Ryan and Will. They it's like when a big show pops up, they're they go get their tickets early because it doesn't
Oh,
come around that often.
no doubt, it's a treat.
But
Like it's something to look forward to for sure. Like Canadians don't get great tours with artists. So when they do come through your town, you feel like, oh shit, like you better take advantage of that shit because it ain't gonna happen again for a couple of years.
yeah, exactly. Which
So
it's good that you guys actually show that appreciation. Because I'm not saying that Americans don't show their appreciation, because obviously we do, but we're spoiled. We are really spoiled when it comes to being able to go to any show that you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
And if you got a little bit of money and you want to fly out for the day, catching a flight isn't really that much. So you can go catch
yeah,
a flight to Florida and go see a show and then come back 2 days later, and it ain't no thing. But
yeah. No doubt, no doubt. Like fuck, flights in Canada are ridiculous too. Like it's literally cheaper for me to fly from Calgary to Boston and back than it is to fly to fucking Toronto. Like by a lot of money too, bro. Like hundreds of dollars. I don't know. Canadian air travel's so fucked up.
American air travel's fucked up too. So, but just good. It's a matter of perspective, really. J Speak Lane just chimed in. He said, "You are a great bro guy, man." And that's for you.
I'm a what now?
You are a great bro guy, man.
Bro guy, man.
Bro
Man
guy.
guy. Bro guy. Oh, he's it's an inside joke. Kind of like we're always talking about like fucking like restaurants where you go to get souvlaki or like euros or whatever, right? And there's always that Greek dude in the back who's just fucking like pumping like like techno music. He's like, "Hey man, bro guy, what's up, bro? I got the euro for you, bro." We're just like, celebrate that shit.
Right, right.
Love that shit.
That's funny. See if we got any more questions from the team. Really appreciate you coming on, bro. As I said
Yeah.
we've been chopping it up for quite a while now, bullshitting, doing business. So it's been pretty dope. And anytime you want to drop Goon Mountain, use our platforms, represent yourself, shameless self promotion. We love it. So,
Word,
but
word.
what was it like working with the working on Cause Patriot Junk Box? Was it easy street musically?
Yeah, really. Like Jay's just like that dude's I don't know if people, like I said, he gets a lot of streams and shit, but he's like a sleeper talent, man. People don't like really truly understand his realm of capability. They're going to on this next shit. Like the dudes, they heard it on Die. You know that track Die?
Yep, yep,
Like he
very
he
familiar.
flexes his vocal range on that shit quite a bit,
Hmm.
and he really expands on this shit too. Yeah, it's dope. It's like some jazzy, like gangster R&B fucking. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's hard to articulate, but it's really dope shit.
Who would you want to work with? Who's like your holy grail of artists to work with?
Ah, probably Black Dot.
We get that a lot. We get that a lot in here.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, everything he touches is excellent, and he's just getting better with age.
The
Really.
guy's ridiculous. Actually, I'll talk about this. There's a track off Cause Patriot Junk Box. It was a beat that I had sent Jay like I don't know, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and he finally decided to use it for Cause Patriot Junk Box. Sent me the mix of the whole album. Right, listening to it, and like I don't know, like a week beforehand, Danger Mouse or Black Dot had released that shit. Right.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard
but
it quite a few
but
times.
I forget the name of the track, but they released a track and it's the same sample
Ah,
Danger Mouse used the same sample that I used on this Cos Patriot junk box track. I personally think I did a better job, and that's not just being biased. I think like it's pretty undeniable. And
right.
Jay's like, of course we can't release that now because like
Yeah. Doesn't matter who made it first, who put it out first. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe at some point Jay will like put like a expirable link on his fucking page, on his Facebook page or something. Say like, check this out. This was something we did before. I don't know. It's
right.
pretty. It's a really dope track though. That's what. It's unfortunate.
Put it as
Sucks.
a hidden song.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Track 666 on the CD.
Yeah, Jay, put it as your hidden song. There you go. But what else you got going on in the personal world? I know you like to hunt. What genres of music do you listen to besides hip hop?
Dude, I'm a massive metalhead. Like I'm a metal drummer. I play drums too.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's my shit. Like decapitated, death, decrepit birth, uh,
you lost me.
necrophagist. But like even like Rush, Dream Theater, shit with really dope drums.
Right, right,
Tool, Danny Carey's dope. God is an astronaut. Fucking Alcest. Yeah, Watain. I don't know, all kinds of shit. But I like metal. I like a lot of metal, progressive shit. But I also listen to a lot of '80s stuff. Like I've been to Elton John concert, bro. Like I'm all over the board. I, I just a appreciation of music all around.
right.
Straight up.
Yeah, I get that. Who's your favorite metal drummer?
Gene Hoglan. Gene Hoglan would be number one. Thomas Hawk would be number two. That's Gene Hoglan's a drummer. He was on Death. Played on a lot of Death albums. Dark Angel, Testament. Fucking Thomas Hawk is the drummer for Meshuggah, Swedish math metal band.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that genre.
No worries.
We do have a few group members that are into it, which is pretty cool. It's all about the difference in flavor and everything that shapes you, you know. And everybody has a different background in music and what their parents listened to that kind of rubbed off on you. And then if you have older brothers and sisters, that's
Yeah.
kind of where I got all my music from was my older brother and my older sister because I'm the youngest of 10 kids. So yeah,
Oh, no
yeah,
shit.
yeah. We had a lot of different flavors of music between every one of us. Like one of my sisters loves country music, and then all the rest of them don't listen to
Oh
it.
man, I'm
Yeah,
so
so
sorry to hear that, man.
yeah, yeah. That is like really the worst genre of music to me.
It is, and I live in fucking Calgary, dude, in
Right,
Alberta.
right.
So like country music is pretty. It's around here a little bit. So
It
yeah,
seems to be prevalent everywhere. Like even in the Northeast, like you'll get a lot of people that are like diehard country music fans.
fuck.
And they're
It's
like some of the girls will be calling themselves country girls, and it's like,
uh,
no,
I
you're not.
know.
You're not a country girl. You're from Providence or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's fucking sad, dude. Is what it is. Seriously, it's like country music is straight up offensive. It's like straight up and down. Like if I hear that shit, like I get like physically angry. Like I'm a locomotive engineer, and sometimes I'll jump in the cab, and there's been an engineer in there, like chef before me or something, and he's got the radio on, and it's like station to some country shit. I fucking snap, man. Like I no physically do not like that fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it's terrible. So, were you born in Calgary? Is that where
No,
you're originally from?
no, I was a military brat, man. I lived all over the U.S. and Canada. Uh, Born on the East Coast. Eventually, I actually lived in Oklahoma City during the bombing in
Wow.
'95,
Yeah.
April 19th, 1995. Yeah, I was in band class that morning. Uh, Felt the whole like band class is in this like giant portable out behind the school,
Mm.
and we felt the whole building shake and shit. But yeah, I lived all over, man. Like Colorado Springs a little bit, uh, very briefly. Toronto, Victoria, Vancouver Island, fucking yeah, been all over. But
So did you pull influences musically from all of these places that you've been to? Because
yes,
especially like regional United States,
when
music
I
is
lived
very
when I lived in
different.
Oklahoma, bro, that's where I listened to. I mean, I started my hip hop shit in Alberta when I was really young, but when I lived in Oklahoma is where it really fucking took hold of me. Like I had a lot of friends that were into hip hop. That was when like Snoop was like really huge, like Doggy Style was coming out,
Yeah,
and like Warren G, E40 had a bunch of records out like back then. This is all like West Coast kind of shit, but like that's what I was listening to when I was in like middle school.
yeah.
You know,
Oklahoma is
fucking
closer to the West Coast, so I see them latching on to that.
yeah, they're very yeah, and Southern hip hop hadn't really landed yet. You know what I mean? Like all the Southern Atlanta bands hadn't really. So you'd think like geographically, it's more central than west. So
Right,
you'd
right.
think they would be on that southern sound, but yeah, they were more on that West Coast sound back then, for sure. But yeah, Snoop fucking was big for me back then. Ice T was my god, still is my fucking biggest influence. Like I love his shit.
Really, that's cool. You don't hear that one every day.
Oh, Ice T is the shit, bro. Like storyteller, like you paint a picture for you. You could see that shit, and you're listening to it. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, we got any more questions from the comments? Doesn't seem to be so.
That's okay, bro.
That's all good. We like to go through them, see what the people have to say. Because without the artists, we wouldn't be here. I say it every episode. So we really appreciate you guys. Like across every platform, whoever's group, Instagram, Facebook, like you guys are doing the work that gives us a reason to form these platforms. You know what I mean? So we really appreciate that.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate people taking the time to listen and even think about us as you know furniture in their lives.
yeah, true. It's like it's goes both ways really. It says what's the biggest obstacle during your venture through music?
Oh man, like I said before, like time. You know,
Mm,
like I always put just like my livelihood. Getting my paycheck every day, paying my rent over like putting focus on music all the time. So time for sure. You know.
yeah, especially working those many hours, which I get, man. I work doubles almost every weekend, 14-hour shifts. I'm a cook, and so
Oh, bro.
you're just back there on your feet all day, burning up, sweating your balls off.
Yeah, no
You got to
doubt.
do it. You got to do it, Bubby. You just plug along and do what we like to do on the side, and try to make ourselves happy with something. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. My homeboy is a cook too, man. I know exactly what that's like. I know
right.
exactly what that's like. Your back is fucked, right?
Yeah, my back's fucked. I'm all scarred up, all my arms and everything from burning myself. I cut the tip of my middle finger off on my left hand, like sliced halfway, like on a diagonal, right through the nail. You can see the tip of the bone. Yeah, it's fun times being a chef.
Rough, bro.
Yeah, it sucks. But hey, like you said, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what sucks
absolutely.
about being an independent artist is you guys are like getting screwed every which way. Like Spotify, all these different places are always taking a chunk, and it's like just
Yeah,
pay the artist for what their value is and for what they're worth and for what they've done.
yeah, no doubt. There needs to be some sort of outlet, a better avenue solution for this type of shit. Like, what is it, like a million fucking streams, you get like $6,000. Like, is that? I think that's accurate.
It's wild.
Which is ridiculous. Like, fucking kidding me? If I got 1 million plays on the radio in 1995, that would equate to a lot of album sales and a lot of fucking loot in my pocket.
Exactly.
But back then, I mean, they were even getting right back then, man. Like, on royalties.
Oh yeah,
Record companies were taking so much.
The label system was destroying artists for years and years and years, ever since it started.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's the good and the bad, you know, especially with all the streaming services. Is you get heard, and hopefully people will buy straight from you. But then again, like even with Bandcamp, you know, you're gonna get taxed. Everything's gonna be taxed.
Like, honestly, I used to say, like, the money is in touring. You know, like playing shows, that's where you make your money, but like not anymore. I don't know why. Like, I don't really have a great reason for that, but it doesn't seem like that's the way to do it anymore. It seems like nowadays it's like merch. You know, like these big artists that are making money, like Ill Bill and Paz, and these are just two names I'm using, but they seem to sell a lot of merch. You know, like shirts and hoodies and hats and fucking
everything, jackets and socks. You can
yeah.
You know, you gotta get a drop store and just push everything. Make everything. Put your logo on it. Water bottles, keychains. It's the way of the world now. You know?
Yeah, it's like Necro. Necro's got fucking everything with his name on it. He's selling.
Right.
He'll sell anything with his fucking name on it. He'll sell lighters with the Necro logo on it.
Exactly. But if people are buying them, and they're probably $5.99 a piece. You know, so I'm sure they sell, which is crazy. But we're gonna start wrapping it up because, like you say, you don't have much time. Right now, it's the time to shamelessly plug yourself and all the projects you got dropping or anything you have dropped, your links. Drop it up.
Unfortunately, I got locked out of my Instagram account over some email bullshit. Apparently I signed up for my Instagram at one point using some weird email that I don't use anymore. I forget the password to.
Oh boy.
So my Instagram is jacked. So now I'm just using this new one, Goon Peak, at Goon Peak, which is like associated with my Goon Mountain shit that I'm starting out. But yeah, Spotify, Promotheus. I got Cause Patriot Junk Box with Speak the Rebel coming out in January, I believe. People want to hear that really dope album I was talking about with Grim Moses. Superlux 322 Grim Moses on Spotify. Check that shit out. It's really dope. It's all like, I don't know if people have seen the movie 8mm with Nicolas Cage. It's all about snuff films and shit. That's just a bunch of sound clips from that. Kind of like, it's like a storyline carries you through the album. I got Metallica Breath, which just came out a couple months ago. Maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Something like that. A lot of people haven't peeped that. It's only like 400 views, which is like fucking October Crisis has like 2,000 views or something. But anyways, it's a dope track and it's a dope video. People should check that shit out. October Crisis is another dope track. The guys talk about C21 and Justin Trudeau. Fuck that, dude. October Crisis is some juxtaposition shit. You should go peep that.
What else you got, brother? That's it?
Yeah, for right now. Like, I don't know. You know, Bandcamp, YouTube, Promotheus, Nominal Butchery. Just pay attention because I don't drop whack shit. And, you know, it doesn't come out in mass quantities, but it's all about quality over quantity in my books. So, you got dope hip hop, then keep it.
I can definitely second that because I've heard a lot of your stuff, and if you're into that darker beat and like something to bring you it's almost like nightmare fuel sometimes with the beats. So I kind of like that. Like it's something you would hear in one of your dreams.
Yeah, and I don't really typically consider myself horrorcore or any. Like I talked about Necro and shit, but I'm not like Necro. I listen to a lot of metal, so I'm influenced by a lot of dark shit. I watch a lot of like 80s slasher shits. So yeah, that's kind of where I get a lot of my influences from, metal and progressive music and 80s slasher shit.
Yeah, you can
So
definitely hear it. You can hear it in your music. But again, I want to thank you. Appreciate you for coming on.
thanks for having me. It's
Everybody
dope
go check
chopping it
out
up.
his shit. Definitely was. Everybody go check out his shit. It's we've shared Dick Spin everywhere, so go give that a listen. And Yo CTE Raps, the B side. That's actually one of my favorite songs out right now is Yo CTE Raps. But everybody go check that shit out. And again, Promotheus, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you for doing time with us, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, lifers. Peace out.